what this technology is, what it can do, what it currently can't do, notice the word currently, and how we got here. So for a lot of people, it's taken them by surprise. Even for some of us in the industry who've been watching this very closely, it was a little bit surprising that the capabilities of these AIs are as advanced as they are at this time frame. We thought it might be, a few more years. So how is it all? What's this breakthrough? There was a research paper published in 2017, so that's pretty recently in the grand scheme of things, about a technology called transformers. And when you hear about ChatGPT, the T in that is transformer technology. And it is a type of neural network capability that allows you to, when you're training the network, for it to have more attention. What I mean by that is when you are originally for translating text, when you're translating language, you don't just do it word by word. If you know anything about another foreign language, then you have to look at the whole sentence, you have to look at the context of how words are used in that sentence, and that gives you ability to do a really great translation. If you just substitute words, it's really going to sound clunky. So it's the ability of an AI to look at language and look at it in context. And as these large language models, as they're known, have grown in size, the amount of what's called parameters that they have, which is the number of nodes in the neural network, and the amount of data that they're exposed to and trained on, it gives them this ability to have incredible attention. What that means is it's thinking about all of the things it's been trained in. And when you give it a prompt, so when you talk to one of these agents, it is known as a prompt. So that's your input to it. So you might ask it a question, summarize the top 5 compact luxury cars as rated by all of the major car magazines. It's using all that information and it's predicting what its answer should be based on all of that input. So it's using that attention and that understanding, I put that in quotes, of all of those inputs and all of its knowledge to then make up a response to you. So when ChatGPT is replying to you, it is essentially just predicting what the best next word is. And you think that wouldn't give you very good results, but it turns out if you have this attention mechanism, if you train it on enough data, and then you do another step, which we can talk about in a minute, it gives you incredibly powerful results. And you get this, it's called emergence. So, we expected it might give us some clunky kind of responses, but it turns out if you train it with enough data and you train it long enough, you start to get these emergent properties where it can sound almost sentient. Now, it's not. It is simulated consciousness. It is not in any way conscious at all, because all the machine is doing is literally predicting what the next word should be in a flow. And it turns out it can write, very impressive paragraphs of information to help you. So that's how the technology works today. There's another technique that they're using called reinforcement learning with human feedback, RLHF. It's turned out that's what's made technology like GPT-4 much better than ChatGPT. So you initially train the AI on all of the stuff you can scrape from the internet. So as many, all the stuff from Twitter and Reddit and all of the books you can get your hands on, all the academic papers, jam it all into the AI. And it's still going to get things wrong. So you use this technique where you're using humans to rate the answers it's giving, and it learns from that too. So you're essentially giving it a digital cookie, a little reward every time it gets something right, and it might give you 2 answers, and you say, well, I like this one better. It learns from that. So with that combination of initial training and then this reinforcement learning with human feedback, that's how you're getting these incredible results with something like GPT-4. So that's the state of play today. If you haven't used these technologies, it's worth trying out. You will be surprised by how impressive they are. Even people in the industry are kind of gobsmacked at, wow, this is quite impressive. And where we go from here is we're heading to an era of AI assistance. So I think of it as the 4th era of computing. The first era was back in the 60s and 70s. We had room-sized computers, mainframes and mini computers, and they were used by a few people for doing, payroll and other clunky academic tasks and that sort of thing. Then came the PC and the internet, and that brought computing to billions of people, connected this all up, gave us email, gave us the World Wide Web, and that was a pretty big step in computing. Then in the third era, we got the cloud, where it became very easy to stand up a business by using cloud capabilities. We all started using everybody else's computers to do our computing tasks, and the mobile era came. So the cloud and mobile era kind of came together, and I would call that the third era of computing, where we truly personalized computers. We are now moving into the fourth era of computing, and I think it will be as profound for humanity as the previous three put together. Wow. And that is the era of AI assistants, where every one of us is going to get an incredibly capable AI assistant. If you think that GPT-4 is impressive, that's going to be nothing compared to what we see coming in the next 5 years. An assistant that is able to help us with any task that we want, to remember the context of all the conversations we've had with our assistant in the past, and to help us with improving our creativity, our intuition, make higher quality decisions, and to offload tasks that we don't want to do because they're boring or repetitive. So we are all going to we're going to gain superhuman skills and capabilities, because we are going to be elevated and supported by an AI assistant. And that is a huge moment in human history. And to me, you can compare it to the mobile breakthrough where we all got smartphones in our pockets, or the PC revolution in the 80s and 90s. I think this is bigger. This is more akin to us electrifying the world. I was going to say discovering electricity, but to harnessing electricity and bringing light into our homes, electrifying transportation networks, electrifying manufacturing plants, and so on. So think steam, electricity, AI.
Wow. Yeah, no, it is a exciting time as an innovator, and as someone who's always looked for ways to leverage technology to improve the value that I could deliver to a consumer. I mean, that's always been like the theme to my career as a salesperson, the theme to my career as an entrepreneur. It's, how can technology actually improve the value of my service? And I founded Mortgage Coach on that premise, hey, my service is not just interest rates, it's the advice and the value I bring to a consumer to help them achieve wealth through real estate and achieve wealth through making loans. And, that was it, Mortgage Coach 1.0. And now, Trust Engine, we've got data, we're delivering advice. I mean, it is just so exciting for me.